All right. My name is RJWashington, and I say my whole name as I start this self-identity autobiography. Yes, RJWashington. I consider myself an African-American male. Um, let's see, African-American male and my direct roots are from the South. You know, when I think of my parents, both of my parents have roots that come from the South, meaning that their parents both are most of their parents are descendants of Africans who traveled here to the Americas via the slave trade. I'm sure there's some other cultures in my genealogical background. However, that is what I identify with and how I identify myself. Um, what else do I think of when I self-identify? I self-identify myself as a part of hip-hop culture and California culture. I definitely consider myself a Californian as well. So when I think about hip-hop culture, I in myself consider myself like an elder member of the hip-hop culture. You know, I'm 42 years old, and that is a culture and a music that really began to evolve in my early childhood through the mid to late 70s. I feel like it impacts the way I dress, the music I listen to, the car that I drive, and a lot of the ways that I carry myself as a person and interact with people, especially outside of work. I really connect with that, with the hip hop culture. In California culture, I'm a Californian. I was born and raised here in California, and I take a lot of pride in that. When I think of the California culture and myself, I think about all the people that migrated here from, in particular, the South during the 50s and 60s. Grandparents of mine, one of my parents, are people that all migrated here to California because it was considered a place with more opportunity. And that is how I came about and how I ended up here. So that's a part of that California culture I have a lot of pride in, and I'm proud to be born here in Southern California in Los Angeles. Think about that California culture. Also think about a love for, let's see how I say, I guess I would say Mexican American culture. I'm someone from Los Angeles. I was born and raised here. I grew up interacting and engaging with Mexican Americans and other people from cultures that are in countries or descendants from countries close to the southern border of California. And I think about the fact that I love Mexican American culture, the people, Mexican food, Mexico in general. So when I think about myself as a Californian, I can't help but think about Mexico and Mexican American culture in general. It's something that I respect. It's a people that I embrace and I have always engaged with and been respectful of and had a lot of empathy and understanding for. This being a land that we ultimately drew a line to say this is California, this is the U.S., and this is Mexico. And I frown upon that, but it's the reality where I come from. But I just make sure I'm very observant and understanding of what the history, some of the history that takes place and connects to that. So these are things I think about when I self-identify. Thinking about myself, I call, yes, an African-American male. I think of myself, I'm a black man. And what it's like to be a black man in America, here in California, in my region, I think that I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I think that it's been a tough deal. I think that when I think of hiring and jobs and opportunity and things like that, a lot of times I think we are the last on the totem pole in terms of who people want to give opportunity to. That's an opinion. That's my opinion. That's something that I feel that I've experienced in pursuing career and different things. And that's part of my journey. That's part of my struggle. I embrace it, and I get out here and try to be the best that I can be as a person, as a father, as a family member. And these are the things I think about when I self-identify and think about my life and my culture and my background. RJWashington from Los Angeles, California, with roots and family from the South, the southern regions of the U.S., and well-traveled. I went to an historically black college, Morehouse College, and that's part of my, I would say, part of my self-identifying as well. Definitely a part of why I see myself as an African American, and here I am. I hope that helps understand and know a little bit about me. Another piece I'd say when I think about my self-identity is definitely a proponent of diversity. I'm a person that likes to be exposed to other cultures and people from just different backgrounds, and like to be surrounded by people from different backgrounds. Although I'm very competent and very knowledgeable about my background and my culture, I am always trying to be exposed and be surrounded by people of other cultures and learn about them and expose them and be a representation of me and my culture, and make sure we're just all knowledgeable about each other and just bringing my positive energy to the world. This is how I self-identify. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.